Anyway, last of the early games, Falcons at the Chiefs. This line opened up 13. It's down to 10.5. The sharp money coming in on Atlanta. So who do you like in this game?
Yeah, I like the Falcons a lot. I have 3 units on them. I just can't see why the Chiefs would care much about this game. They basically have the number 1 seed wrapped up, and they should be able to beat the Falcons pretty easily. But like, how hard are they going to be willing to try at this point? Like, I'm not questioning their effort, and Andy Reid's a great coach, and Patrick Mahomes is a true gamer. But I mean, I don't think that they're a lock to beat the Falcons by 10.5 points. We saw what they did to the Bucs last week. They kind of came out, punched the Bucs in the mouth right out of the chute. Then, they did what the Falcons do and blow massive leads in the second half. But I think that they've figured out a way to play without Julio Jones, and credit to Raheem Morris and his staff. That defense has gotten better as the year's gone along. They're still weak in the secondary, but they're second best against running backs this year in terms of yards allowed on the ground. So the Chiefs aren't going to be able to really run on them without Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's going to be Le'Veon Bell, and Bell can rip off some runs, but I think that against this defensive front, he might have trouble doing that. So you render the Chiefs one-dimensional, and granted, one-dimensional with Patrick Mahomes is pretty much three-dimensional with any other quarterback. I think that, they might get slowed down or stopped a couple times, and that's enough for the Falcons if they can play well on offense to keep this game close. So I don't think the Chiefs should be favored by this many points. The fact that the line opened up at 13, I thought that was way too high. And coming down, I think it still is too high. As long as this is double digits, I like the Falcons. Quite a bit here. And if Julio Jones comes back, I'll like them even more.
Yeah. Do you remember the last time the Chiefs have won by double digits?
I knew this at one point. It was when they beat the Jets, wasn't it?
Yep, that was week 8 against the Jets. That's the last time they won by double digits. So ever since they lost Mitchell Schwartz and they've been down 2 offensive linemen, it seems like their offense has been kind of limited. And that's kind of like weird saying because like Patrick Mahomes still looks great sometimes or most of the time. And like Tyreek Hill makes these amazing plays and Travis Kelce dominates. But the Chiefs, it seems like they stall and drive sometimes because Mahomes gets under pressure a lot and he has to throw the ball away. Kind of like, remember the Tampa game? They had a big lead, and then there were a couple of drives in the second half where Mahomes had to scramble out and just throw the ball away, and that allowed Tampa to come back and get the backdoor cover. It seems like that happens quite a bit with the Chiefs because they don't have the great protection that they normally have, and that'll change when they get Schwartz back because they'll only be down one offensive lineman, but they really miss Mitchell Schwartz a lot. So if they're not clicking at 100% in this game, if they're at 85 or 90% like they have been, that's going to allow Atlanta to hang around and potentially get the backdoor cover. Matt Ryan is just he can create some plays in the fourth quarter when he's down a lot and get a backdoor cover. It seems like when he's favored by or when he's an underdog of a ton of points, it seems like he usually covers the spread. So I definitely like Atlanta. And one other thing to consider, this may not factor in, but if the Colts are beating the Steelers by a ton of points in the second half, Andy Reid might take notice or might learn about that, and he might pull his starters. Andy Reid is notorious for sitting his starters when they don't need to play. So that's one thing you have to consider if you're going to bet the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Andy Reid's very good about, being sure all the team's healthy for the playoffs, which I think is, it's paid off for him, especially with the Chiefs. We saw him even do it with Alex Smith. Patrick Mahomes' first career start came because they were resting Alex Smith for the playoffs. So, yeah, I know both of us aren't convinced that the Colts are going to win huge over the Steelers, but if it's happening, that certainly could happen. And then, who knows what happens in that point? Maybe the Falcons win outright. So, yeah, I think the Falcons are definitely the right side here. This line's just too high, and the sharp action moving this 2.5 points really backs that point up.
Yeah, I like Atlanta a lot. It sounds like it's going to be a joint entry for us. So that's it's good to hear.